Bro, because I was listening to your live from yesterday, boy. Your shit was funky yesterday, bro.
Exactly.
That shit was
Every
a
now and then
vibe.
I be having to remind them because people be trying to play like I just go in there and play music. No, this is real cultural excellence. Like this is history right here. You might just come from, you might be 12 and you might live in Indonesia and you ain't never heard none of these songs. I'm giving you a lesson almost. I'm putting on a clinic.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you might not know who Marvin Gaye is at 12. You might not know who the Whispers is. You know what I'm saying? Who, and they might not even know who like Neo is.
Yeah.
So you got to sometimes step out of yourself and your own viewpoint, your own environment, and realize like when you're creating content, or as a DJ, you're just sharing other people's content. You're curating. Sometimes you got to think about it from the viewer's perspective. You know, they're digesting it, and sometimes they're just learning from you. So you got to kind of dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Look, this is not. You know, I wouldn't normally play "Let's Get It On" by Marvin Gaye, but somebody might need to hear that. They might need to get educated. So.
You are now listening to the Q&E podcast.
Is this what you want? Huh? Is this what you want? Well, come and get it, goddamn!
What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Q&E podcast. You're here with your boy Q Hicks right now. I got Edgar on the other line. Edgar, tell the people what's good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Q&E podcast. Today, we have an interview with a very special DJ. If you don't know him, you know him now. DJ Kam Bennett. Cam, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, y'all? If you've never heard of me, never seen any of my content, I go by the name DJ Kam Bennett. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I've been all over the world playing music, doing production. I work with quite a few artists behind the scenes, and I'm excited to be here today, fellas. So let's dive right in.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. Glad you came on today. So first, I just wanted to dive into your upbringing, where you grew up, and you're starting out of wanting to become a DJ.
Okay. I grew up in Minneapolis. I've been in the Midwest all my life. I've lived in several other cities, but mostly growing up going to school. I was going to school in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My parents from Chicago, and then my dad is from the East Coast out in North Carolina. So those are kind of my roots and like the places that I have the deepest ties to.
All right. And what inspired you to become a DJ?
Oh man, originally it was just kind of like a opportunity where we were throwing parties and we didn't have a DJ, and so it was like, well, who knows music the best? Who got music on their laptop? And that was just an instant choice. Everybody look at me, so I wasn't even really like it was. I've seen movies like Juice, and I've seen movies that kind of portrayed the DJ as this like higher than now persona, but I never really thought about being a DJ until we started throwing parties in high school.
Yeah, cause I was just going to ask you that. Were you always musically inclined, or was it just a situation where the opportunity came and a gift was born?
I was lucky enough to grow up in schools where music was kind of pushed. Like we had music class. I was in band. I was in choir. It was like something where I probably didn't even realize at the time that I was musically inclined, but it was something where luckily it was cultivated like around me. So I took piano lessons as a kid, like just little small stuff like that where I wasn't too interested, but it was like almost like destined. It was like, I don't want to go to piano class. Well, you're going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that was definitely my dad.
Yeah, facts. Because my dad was a DJ. He wasn't like, like in the industry necessarily, but he was DJing out when he was in Boston as a kid. So he would tell me stories about it, and he had the equipment in the house. So when I did start to kind of have more interest in it, it was kind of like boom right there. So I was, like I said, it was just kind of something that it was almost fate.
Mm-hmm. So can you give us like a definition of what a DJ is? Because when most people think of a DJ, they obviously think the club and parties and things like that. But is it something more to being a DJ that most don't know?
For me, it's just content curation. Like we were speaking a little bit before we started, kind of about taking in content and giving it back out and putting your own spin on it. So there's DJs that necessarily, I don't judge them for calling themselves a DJ because they don't DJ necessarily and mix records. You got DJ Academics, you got DJ Envy who has a talk show. If you're digesting content from the industry and you're giving it to your audience, that to me is kind of part of it. Obviously, we would like to see you get on the tables. We would like to see you scratch. We would like to see your knowledge of music. We would like to see you work with artists, but it's not necessarily, I don't hold it against somebody. If they call themselves a DJ, you feel like you're a DJ, you're a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
So how hard was it to learn the skill of DJing and producing at first? Do you feel like you kind of just got it naturally, or was it like hey, I gotta stay up all day and night type thing?
Impossible. I'm still learning to this day, bro. Like, I still look at other DJs. I'm like, I ain't nowhere near on their level. I know I'm nice with it because I put the 10 years of practice in it. But I still I'm like, wow, I still have so much more to learn on a daily basis, especially production, because I only started producing 2 years ago.
Right.
So it's like so much, like you just learn and then you look back and you don't even realize how you learned it. You're just like, I was just practicing. It was times I dropped out of college when I started DJing. It was times I'd be in my dorm room probably like 6 to 8 hours at times, bro. Just DJing. I'll stop to go to the bathroom, get something to eat, go back to it. And I was so bad at first. Like I was terrible. I remember my little sister, she was probably like 10 or 11 at the time. She was like, you're trash. Stop. And in my mind, I'm knowing, like, I'm damn near knowing I'm trash. But I'm like, I know I got something. So I just kept at it. And somehow it just eventually clicked.
Yeah. Because I was just going to ask you about being a producer, or if you were a producer, because I seen you work with Lil Baby in the past and also 2 Chainz. So what is your relationship with those 2 prominent artists?
I work with Lil Baby.
Lil Baby, my fault.
Yeah,
no,
that's what I read. I would love to work with Baby, though. If you could get a person on an album or something. Mostly I was his tour DJ. So I worked with 3 or 4 industry artists just doing tour DJing, where I'm going with them to their shows. I'm communicating with the venue about, you know, how things are going to run, just being a point person. So it's more than just playing the record. Sometimes it's just communicating with the promoter. You know, kind of, there's times when me and Bibby would be on the road to just be me and him. So I was kind of doing a little bit more than just DJing, where you become like their right hand. Like they're looking to you as far as, okay, maybe source some beats. Maybe you're giving them feedback on the music when they're working on it in the studio. It's different levels with different people. You know, sometimes you're just their friend at some points, and you're not doing shows. You could just be a friend, and hey, can you go help me with this? Come here with me. Like there's different levels. Obviously, you see big relationships like Esco and Future. You know, like sometimes you just become a part of their team, and you might not even DJ no more. Like Esco rarely DJs for Future.
Yeah,
that's still his man's. He put together 56 nights. He put, you know, so it becomes more than just a DJ. When you work with an artist, you're a major part of their team, major part.
So being such a great rapper from Chicago, what type of advice has Bibby given you over the years?
Bibby gave me so much advice outside of music. He's like, I would say he's only a year and a half older than me, but he gave me just so much mentorship as far as how to carry yourself as a man, how to protect yourself, how to move, how to deal with like interacting with women when you're on the road. You know, it's a lot that I just learned. He's a very quiet person. Like you might, knowing him from his music versus knowing him in real life, you would be kind of confused. Like, yo, this dude he ain't said nothing in 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, he's always observing, always thinking. He's always making a plan. So you might think he might just be sitting there on his phone, but he plotting out our next couple moves for the next couple of days. You know, he's the type of person that thinks through things clearly. And at the time when I met him, I think I was about 18, 19. I wasn't like that. I was just out here just trying to have fun, trying to party. Like he don't drink or smoke at all. He don't do nothing that I ain't seen him do nothing that will affect your cognitive ability to continue operating. Because I guess that's the environment that he came from, bro. It's just to stay alive, you got to be on point. And I wasn't from that environment. I was like, dude, like I thought we were here for a good time. But he's thinking about getting the money and getting back home. So I took that into my account now with how I handle everything, with how I handle my business, me as a parent, me as a friend to other people. I try to let that rub off on them too. Like, look, it can be fun. We could get money, but at the end of the day, we got to be thinking about what really matters at the end of the day. It's about taking care of your family, making it home, and building a future for yourself. Because you can see it. How many rappers have we seen from Chicago that passed, bro?
Too many.
Too many.
Quite a few were situations where it was kind of unavoidable probably for them. They might have been on point already and something just happened.
They're just in that lifestyle. So
but a lot of them could have been prevented, bro.
A
lot of them could have been prevented, whether it was, okay, this wouldn't happen if you weren't high. This wouldn't happen if you weren't thirsty for girls, having them set you up. This wouldn't happen if you had left the gangbanging shit back home. You know, it's just a lot of things where if you get involved in the wrong lifestyle, it's inevitable. One day something's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
Has there been any industry advice that you feel has helped you along the way in your 10-year career so far?
Yeah,
Like,
we
how
can go
do
back to him alone, bro. Just the advice from him alone. I remember sitting in a hotel room when he played me Juice WRLD album before he even signed them.
Yeah.
And the kid had a whole album, bro. Like he had 20, 30 songs recorded. And he's telling me, like, what you think about this? You think dude cool? I'm like, yeah, this is it right here. I already knew off the rip. I know music. I've been doing music for a while now. I know what I play as a DJ. He played me Lucid Dreams like probably 6 months before they started pushing it. And just to have that foresight, that's the biggest advice you can have as far as music, because the time is not going to stop moving. These records are going to keep coming out. These artists are going to keep getting money. They're going to keep getting bigger. And if you can attach yourself business-wise to somebody before that happens, that's when you can see the vision and you can really benefit off of it.
Because the reason I asked that, as a DJ and as a producer now, like you just said, you're gonna hear a lot of artists and a lot of songs way before it starts getting pushed. You might hear something damn near a year or a year and a half or more before the shit even really get known. So
or it might not come out. It might not even
or
come
it might not even come out. So how does, like, I just really want to know how that works. Like, how do you all figure out who is it? Like, who has the right sound or who doesn't? Because you really got to have an ear for that.
It's interesting that you say that, because I got an artist right now that we're about to sign. He's from Minnesota and he's just incredible. Like, he sits in his room, mixes and masters his own music, and he got 20 followers. You know, like, not to disrespect nobody, like everybody doesn't have the same platform.
Right.
So when you don't have a platform, you kind of need like an intermediate person like myself to take you from having good talent and having good sounds and having structured songs to having records. There's a difference to me between a song and a record, because anybody can make a song. You can get on a beat and do some bullshit. But a real record to me is like, this is a marketable piece of content. This is a product. So a lot of people can make music and they're talented. They can sing, they can rap, they can create poetry. Sounds good. But if you can't connect those dots between publishing the song, marketing the song, and having the network of people to reach out to push that song to, you got nothing.
Yeah.
You got something, but you got nothing, because you can't do nothing with it. It's like having, I don't know, it's like having a car with no gas. You know what I'm saying? You got a nice car. The car might be worth $100,000, but it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So if you can have those type of abilities, that's where the real value lies, because there's millions of artists. You probably heard an artist that's homeless. That's probably sounds better than half the people on the radio.
Right.
And it's probably frustrating to them that they sound so good and that they have so much talent, and people can't recognize them for it. But that is the talent in itself, is being able to market and push that content.
Yeah.
It's the reason why you hear so much bullshit on the internet. I mean, on the internet, on the radio, and TV, all that. And people are like, why the hell is this song just keep playing back to back? Because there's business behind it. It's not a good song. It's just there's business behind it. So if you can do that, you're probably more valuable than the artist, because we can go find another artist. We can't go find another you. So a lot of kids might even be good at that. Maybe even kids that are artists now, because I wanted to rap at a time. I wanted to make music. That's one of the reasons why I understand artists and how difficult it is to record music and how much passion they got, because I was doing it. I was in high school, rapping and doing my little thing, making videos. At a time, you may discover that your real talent or your real skill set is bigger than just making it, though. And maybe you might be the person that can be the dot connector. You might be the person who knows how to, okay, let's move this hook here. Let's change this. Maybe you're a producer. Maybe you're A&R. That in itself is a talent, and a lot of kids don't know that. So they just rapping. You might just have to step back. Oh, my homie make music, and it might be a little more marketable. Sometimes, it's not just about, do it sound good to us, or it's about what do sound good to the world.
Right.
What can we put in a movie? What can we get put in a video game? You know what I'm saying? What can we get where another artist is going to want to hop on it? What can we get where a company like MTV or a company like the AMAs are going to want us to perform on their stages? It's got to be the complete package. Or somebody might make music and they don't even got the look.
Yeah.
That could be a big part of it too.
But I feel like some people would lose themselves if they were to go down that path of trying to just conform to what the radio wants.
Yeah,
to
you want
like
to bring something fresh to it. You got to bring your own spin on it. But at the same time, there is a formula. Like, there's people that's in the industry, Kevin Lyles, Stephen Victor, they'll tell you there's a formula to making a hit record. And you can bring your own splash of flavor on it. You can do a twist and turn, but at the end of the day, it's ABBA, it's ACCA, B. There's a formula. They literally have formulas, bro. when they make these records, when there's the writing camp,
Mhm.
there's another reason why a lot of people's beats don't get placed. It's not structured correctly. It might
Mhm.
sound good, but it's not ready to be recorded on. So when we pull it up in the studio and there's a hook is in the wrong place or the verse is too long, niggas might pass on that beat because it's not ready to be a song yet.
Yeah.
So there's formulas to this shit, and that's one of the big secrets that a lot of people don't understand or just don't want to accept, that it's a recipe.
Mm. So you were just speaking on dot connectors. Who was the dot connector for you and your journey to get where you're at right now? Was there a
Twitter.
dot connector, or you put yourself
Twitter.
on? Okay.
Twitter.
Mhm.
Because if I didn't have Twitter, I wouldn't have met none of these artists. Well, maybe it might have happened eventually, but it sped up the process for me. Because a lot of the times there's been times where I got the phone call, hey, so and so wants to work with you. Hey, can you come down to here, have a studio session? Can you come here and have a meeting? But a lot of the times it was just happening through DM, just how we linked. Hey, this is what the idea. I want to work with you. Are you available? Cool. What's your budget? Let's make it happen. So a lot of the stuff was happening with direct communication between me and, like, when me and Bibby first started working, I was in jail. I was in county. I was like just caught my first case ever as an 18-year-old. And my girl had my phone at the time, and she was like, yo, Lil Baby and Soulja Boy hit you up on the same day.
Yeah.
I didn't have no connections in the industry at all at this time. I was just trying to DJ, posting my little videos, da-da-da. I knew a few promoters who booked artists and stuff, but nothing real. Like, and I was like, what? Like, I'm in their shock. Like, all right, tell them, see what they want.
Yeah.
And then they reached out like, look, I want you to be my DJ. And obviously I went with the best choice. That's another thing, bro. You could have all this stuff, like the whole package, and if you align yourself with the wrong people, you're out of here.
True.
You're gonna be written off as a goofy for the rest of your life. I don't
It's
care
the
who.
fact
What year
that-
was
gotta
this?
do.
What year was this?
This is probably 16, 17. So I'm 25 now. It's 2021. So 5-6 years ago.
It's the fact that Soulja really be saying, I find people before everybody else finds them.
But he does have a talent for that. But it's just about how he presents himself and how he carries himself that a lot of people don't have respect for him. And we should have respect for his craft and his history. But, you know, like I was talking about, it's about how you carry yourself.
Facts.
It's about how people respect you as a man. It's about how you treat people. If you go on the internet spazzing on everybody, doing stupid shit, we start losing respect. We start looking at you like a goofy.
Facts.
Exactly.
So it's like, bro, respect is everything in this game. If somebody don't respect you, why would they do business with you? If somebody don't respect you, why would they even go to your Apple Music profile and click on your shit? Like, what? It doesn't. A lot of people just don't. It doesn't click for them, and I don't understand why it doesn't click. If you go around disrespecting people, and I don't care how good of an artist you are, you're not gonna go nowhere. Like, building a career off beefing with people, that's not the way. Building a career off just going around bullying people, that's not the way. Like, respect is everything. And beyond music, it's in any industry. If you want to be successful, you have to build your relationships, and people got to have respect for you, because it's about how they're going to talk about you when you ain't in the room.
That's true.
So do you see yourself making a change in the future to becoming like well, I know you got your own company because you say you're gonna sign the artists and stuff. So do you see
And what
that
company
being
is
your
that?
main role?
I have an LLC just under my DJ name, and I have also a management company that I'm currently building with 2 other individuals. A friend of mine who's used to manage me in the past, and another friend who's just real. He's a promoter, and he's like worked close with me. We did a lot of concerts together. So us 3 are gonna put together a management company, and just try to focus on a minimal amount of artists, probably 2 or 3 at the time for now.
Yeah, because I was gonna
because
say, do you want that to be your permanent position, or do you still want to play a role in the producer world as well?
I would love to be a huge producer. I don't know if I have the focus to sit and make beats all day. I could see myself being a producer where, you know, like Timbaland or Hitmaker, where a lot of the other people are doing the groundwork and you kind of have the vision, which there's nothing wrong with that. I probably would see myself going through different phases where I touch on different points in my career and still want to DJ throughout it. I still love playing clubs. I love playing for any audience. I would still do weddings, parties, house parties. It don't matter if the money's right, the business makes sense, or I have a relationship with somebody. I'll still DJ for somebody for free. If they don't got money and I fuck with them, you know, it's something I just really enjoy. But I could see myself as an exec for sure. I could see myself taking an artist to the top, going diamond. Like I just have that type of vision where I can manifest that in my mind, and then get on the ground and put one foot in front of the other, and you just build and build and build and build. But I don't know. I also have so much more passion outside of music that, you know, I'm interested in food. I can see myself doing restaurants. I'm passionate about charity. I can see myself doing nonprofits, giving back to my community.
That's what's up.
Education, you know, as becoming a new father, I've just seen how much more impact young kids are going to have on the world, how fast they grow. Not too long ago, all three of us was in kindergarten, not knowing that we were going to do something like this and build something real with each other.
I wanted to ask you, because you brought up fatherhood earlier, how has becoming by the way, congratulations on fatherhood.
I appreciate it.
How has that shaped you now into the man you're becoming in your career and personal life?
It's made me a lot more organized, like as far as planning ahead. Before I had my daughter, I was like on the go. I was living in Arizona for 6 months. I was living in Vegas for 6 months. I was living in Atlanta for 6 months. I wasn't really putting no mind to like the relationships I had with women, how it could affect my future. It was just willy-nilly, just having fun, enjoying my life, trying to get to the bag. That was my main focus. So now I'm still focused on getting money and still focused on feeding my family, but it's more thought out. It's more of a plan. I got to think about my daughter. I can't just go to LA today. I got to pick her up at daycare in 2 hours. You know, like I got shit to do. So and then the time when I'm not with her, I'm always constantly thinking about what I could be doing to make her life better when I am with her. So it's just about planning and organization, and it's a different type of love. Like any father will tell you that you'll have a much deeper understanding of compassion, empathy, and just care for others. Like once you have a child, it's like looking at a miniature version of yourself. How could you not care about yourself? It wouldn't make sense to me to not care about my seed. Like I don't really understand. I don't know knock nobody's situation. I don't try to really down nobody or drag nobody down because I know there's always a deeper story. But when I see guys that have kids around me and they don't spend time with their kids like how I do, I kind of question your character a little bit. It's like it doesn't make sense to me. You're choosing to be right here at this party when you could be with your kids. And I love partying.
Right.
If my daughter could party with me, I would. You feel me? Like, don't wait till she could go to concerts and stuff. I'm putting the little headphones on her, all that.
Yeah.
But it's about your character. You start to reflect on yourself, and every day you wake up and look in the mirror, you're thinking about how you can better yourself. And it's not just for yourself. It's for bigger than that.
Yeah. So before your daughter came along, what was the life of DJ Kam Bennett? Like you said, you were in all these different cities for months. Like, how was that life? Like, is it what everybody expects, the high life every night type junk? Like, how is it?
Not every night, but I mean, obviously back then the industry was a lot more open, so there's a lot more shows, clubs. I mean, I'm a big strip club guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
At the time, I was doing drugs a lot heavier. Like I was never like a fucking junkie or nothing, but I had no worries. Like I had nothing to wake up for on Monday morning, so I would go harder, way harder. It was a lot more. Boom! Hey, come to the studio. It's 2 a.m. Now I can't. I have to think that through. I have to plan that through. I can't just dip. I can't just be moving around because she needs me. I think every night, like even when I go out, even if I go out till 6 a.m, in my head I'm like, I got to get back home because my daughter, when she wake up, I got to be there. So it's like I'm not perfect as a father. Obviously, there's times when I probably could be there even more. I could probably even do it more for her. I could be playing with her more times. But I'm always constantly thinking about that now. Back then, I wasn't thinking about shit, bro. I was literally thinking about that moment.
Yeah.
I was thinking about what we about to eat right now.
Right.
And if somebody said, hey, we should go to Miami, I'd be like, all right, look up the flight. We should go to fucking Miami.
Yeah.
Like even down to the scheduling, like somebody could book me the same day. Now you got to book me 2-3 weeks out now because I got to plan my life.
Right. So when it comes to traveling, how does that work? Like, because when I never understood it. Like when an artist asks another artist or a producer to fly out somewhere, like, and let's say you don't necessarily got the funds at the moment. Like, let's say Lil Baby asks you to come somewhere that you know for a fact at the moment you like, hey, I ain't got enough funds to get there. Do they help you? Or
you gotta. All right, as a DJ, you're providing a service.
Right.
So so anybody who's asking you to go anywhere outside of your own environment, they should be taking care of the budget to take care of that.
Okay.
As a producer, you're not providing a service necessarily. You're providing collaboration. So it's more on you to get yourself there. As a producer, okay, it's like the same way the split sheets come out when we make a song. I own 50%, you own 50%. So it's 50% of your responsibility to figure out how are you going to get there, what are you going to show up with. You know what I'm saying? As a DJ, you're hired, you're an employee basically. So it's on whoever's hiring you to bring you there, to take care of your accommodations. As a producer, it's not so much like that. But if you sign a pub deal, or you have a real good management company, or maybe an artists sign producers too. Maybe you do become an employee.
Oh, okay.
So if you're an employee of a label, that's what it means when somebody signs you. They own part of your masters, and they're gonna take care of shit that you need to make them money. So they're probably gonna pay for your flights, they might even put you up in a crib in New York or in Atlanta or something, because they know that you're gonna make money while you're there for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
even a photographer, if you're a photographer, you're providing a service. They should be taking care of whatever you need to provide that service. They might not put you up in the Ritz-Carlton. You might not be eating 5-star room service every day. They might not get you some drip from the mall, but at the end of the day, they should be taking care of getting you there.
Fact.
Because a lot of people don't have the means to get, a $500 flight somewhere, or just up and go from their job, or it's tough at first.
So being that you're from Minnesota, how did you feel about everything that transpired in Minnesota with the George Floyd killing, being that you were so close to the situation?
Yeah, that was like traumatic for me, bro. It was traumatic beyond just the killing of him, because obviously we've dealt with heinous crimes like that from the police in the past in all our cities. And so that hurt me just to see it. Number one, just to know it happened, it hurt me. But then what happened afterward, the aftermath of it, bro, we destroyed our own community, bro. Like, I went to some of the protests. I didn't commit crimes. I didn't tear no buildings down, burn no buildings down, but that shit was going on. So we're all a part of it. This is a community sense. This is a group mindset now. Like, it wasn't approached correctly. Like, maybe that did need to happen. But if I was the one trying to lead this movement, I would have went about it differently. Because now George Floyd was killed on 38th in Chicago. I grew up on 49th. So that's very close to where, like, I went to school 6 blocks from that where the scene of that crime happened, bro. And now that entire block is still taking over. Like, they put up barricades and shit. The city is trying to fight against the protesters to take that block back. And they still haven't done it. This is 6 months later. When you go drive down Lake Street in our city, which is like a main portion of the south side of our city, you're going to see over 50 buildings that are burnt to the ground. These are people's businesses. People I know. This is our Foot Locker, our Popeyes, like burnt to the ground. You're still seeing like the rubble from it. It's not even cleaned up yet. So it's like very disheartening to know that something bad happened, and then something bad on top of that happened to try to fix what happened. And like I said, I don't know. I'm not going to pass judgment on nobody who made whatever decision they made to try to avenge that killing or whatever their motivation was. But there clearly was a lot of chaos just because people wanted chaos at the time.
Yeah.
People were just fed up with life. They're just like, this is a great reason for me to just get my frustration out. Like, I hate the government. I hate police. I hate fucking any type of order. I just want it to be anarchy. Motherfuckers was just doing everything. Setting off fireworks in the streets, lighting fires, fucking get into fights with people. It's just crazy, bro. And like, I just would have loved to see it be a little more peaceful. But if it was more peaceful,
we wouldn't have been heard, bro.
Would we have the news coverage for it?
Exactly.
Would we have got the police officer who's been arrested? I don't know. So I can't pass judgment on nobody's decision making, but it was traumatic, bro. It's really traumatic, and still traumatic to me to drive down these streets and see this shit.
Because that's a big reason why I wasn't too upset. I was upset at the fact that a lot of black businesses and companies were messed with or destroyed in that situation, and not even just in that city, around the whole country when it was happening. But I understood, like, just being a black person, you understood the pain. So it's like, I don't necessarily agree. I do feel like there should have been a way smarter approach to it, but I understand the pain at the same time. So it's like, hey, I understand it. Do I fully agree? No, but we all raging. And like Quincy said, would we have been heard if all we did was just march? If all we did was just rage? Yeah, it's like at some point that had to happen.
It's relevant even this week because, you know, we have Martin Luther King Day that just passed, and it's necessary to have a Martin Luther King like approach, but it was also necessary to have the Malcolm X approach, which is like, we ain't tolerating that no more.
Right.
There's time for both, and so I would love to see a little more organization amongst our community as far as like how and when are we going to approach certain situations, and can we be a little bit more thought out? because we're going to get a better result. Like I said, it goes back to the same thing, planning and organization. That's how you're going to get the best result in your life, is planning and organization. But like I said, it happened. It's going to probably happen again. I don't know on the same magnitude, but these type of things are going to keep happening. Racism is not going to go away. Police brutality is not going to go away. And black people fighting for our rights and equality is not going to go away for a long time.
I feel like it just comes down to how much can we minimize it, because it won't go away. There are always going to be people like that. But what can we do to make it way less effective? So I feel like that's the biggest question we got to ask.
And it's crazy that you said you still see people protesting down at those streets still, but it's not getting the same type of coverage.
It's turned into not so much a protest. It's just like people just like a lot of homeless camps and shit there, and like a lot of drug activity and shit. It's just, but it's at the same time, it's kind of protected by the protests that already happened, because if the police come in and try to destroy it, there probably will be another protest. Because right now it's called George Floyd Square. It's a memorial for George Floyd. And there's still a lot of photos there. There's still a lot of flowers that people put. And it happened in front of a business that it's not black owned. It's owned by Middle Eastern people, but it's just, I don't know, bro. It's in the middle of the hood. Like, we literally took over a whole block, and the city council is like, we have to do something. Like, y'all can't just block off the street. Motherfuckers is like, nah, it's not happening. Like, they're like, we're not giving y'all back this street until we get something in return. Like, there needs to be a George Floyd law put in place. There needs to be like a fucking statue memorializing him. Like, something needs to be done to get that back, and it's not happening. So,
because we way past street names. We pass street names at this point.
You don't want no damn street name, bro. I don't. That's not helping nothing. We need something that's going to concretely affect our community in a positive manner. And it's not just money. It got to be something. I don't know.
And it's crazy because I just heard that they killed somebody again by putting their knee in somebody's neck the same way. I didn't know if it was in Minnesota or something like that, but they're still doing it. So it's crazy, bro. It's still a crazy world out here.
There was a situation that happened down near my house. I live downtown. There was a situation where a guy, he was like a murder suspect, and he killed himself in front of the police. Like, they were closing in on him, chasing him and shit. He killed himself. And there was more riots after that because people spread rumors that the police killed him. So there was a whole second round of rioting and looting downtown, where they had to actually bring in the National Guard and enact a curfew where everybody had to be in the house at 9 p.m. in the city limits. Like, they were making the, when there's like a severe thunderstorm or like an Amber Alert on your phone, if your phone was in the city, it would be like, beep, 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 must be in the house, like on some like fucking, bro, it was crazy.
Some purge shit.
Purge. It was like just like the purge that's what I'm thinking about. So I don't know, bro. It's been a crazy year, especially then we got COVID on top of that. I just don't know. It's been crazy.
So what were your thoughts on the Capitol situation a couple weeks ago? Because like you just said, they bring in the National Guard for us, but with them, they walking them down the stairs, they taking selfies with them.
Letting them niggas in.
Yeah, like what was
I'm like a conspiracy guy, bro. I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I don't try to talk about it too much because people will just look at me crazy as hell. But I be knowing like that the government is like, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know that's going on behind the scenes, whether it's like them planning those type of events, whether it's like them putting money up for that type of stuff to happen. Like, clearly there was something more to that than just a random mob of people that support Donald Trump. I don't know what it was. It was just like, but it was very clear. Yeah, obviously we all know, they know that if they were black, they would have been shot down. You're not going in no government building. With weapons.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all been to the Capitol in DC.
Yeah.
It's like tight security. I went on a tour there. It's like really tight security. You're not getting there.
Strapped. Every time I
you'll
go,
see guys walking on the roof with ARs, bro. Like, you're not getting
everything. They are strapped. So this is why I'm not understanding. I'm like, black people, we would have been dead as soon as we touched the steps.
Yeah, this wasn't like an off day. They had just been in session in the House, right? That day.
Yeah.
So there was like government officials, politicians, like senators in that building. Like, they would not have done. Well, obviously something was.
My boy had said the same thing. Somebody was like, that was just a distraction from what probably was going on. Probably was a meeting going on about some other shit to probably bomb somebody else. It was like another country or some weird shit. Like, you just don't know.
That's one thing I'd be thinking, like, when a lot of like stuff like that happens, it might have been a distraction to keep us like not focus on something else that happened in the world. But I don't know.
Exactly. Because there's been a lot of that.
Like, there's a higher power spiritually, and then there's a higher power amongst our organized government and centralized government that's somehow controlling a lot of countries. So I don't know a lot about it. I mean, I've done research, but it seems like a lot of that information is kept secret, and I'm not going to find out about it. until they want us to know about it. I believe in aliens and shit, bro. I don't.
Oh yeah,
know
I believe in aliens too. I have God just said we only finna make humans, and that's it. I'm pretty.
Doesn't really make sense, right? Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. So I think there might be like aliens that are extraterrestrial beings like amongst us, either that, or this might be like a test environment or experiment.
I think
There was
I think
a
it's the
time,
Matrix.
I don't believe in it anymore. But there was a time when I thought the Earth was flat, bro. I was watching so many damn YouTube documentaries.
Yeah.
But hey, you got to do your own research and you got to believe what you believe. Hey,
that's facts too.
You never know you can always get wisdom from somebody else. Like you could get wisdom from a homeless guy sitting on the bench. He might know something you don't know. That's why I try to listen more than I talk.
That's real.
What other question I had? Oh, so other than the artists that you got, you yourself, do you have any big projects coming up? Anything like maybe an album of beats or just something?
Music wise, I'm gonna start doing my live streaming on another platform because Periscope is what I've been using, and Periscope is gonna be ending in March.
Really?
They're gonna cease to exist. So they absorbed Periscope probably 3 years ago, and they kind of like use their platform as their Twitter live. So like how Instagram live is, now they use Periscope. Like you can go live directly from Twitter. So Periscope had a program where it was called the Super Broadcaster program where I was able to get paid through donations and stuff. And now, so if that goes away, I'm not going to be broadcasting for free, bro. Like it doesn't make sense. Even a few dollars makes it worth it. Like, okay, I made something for my time.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be either moving to Twitch or I've been working on a deal with OnlyFans where I do my broadcast on there and people could subscribe for a fee. So I'm working on my broadcast. I'm working on my podcast. That's in action. I got some clothing stuff coming, some merch. I'm gonna get back in these clubs pretty soon once they open it up. That's another main focus of mine, just because it's like a passion. Like it's nothing like playing a Friday, Saturday night at a hot club in the city, bro. Yeah. And there's nothing like the money either. Like there's not.
What's some of your favorite cities?
Phoenix, Scottsdale. I was living out there for a while, working out there. Love LA, love Miami. Love New York. I haven't had a chance to play other than concerts. I haven't played any clubs in New York. I'd love to do that.
So what's like an underrated spot where people really wouldn't like think of, but it was jumping when you went?
I've been to like crazy parties in like Wichita, Kansas.
What?
Parties in, like San Francisco, the party city for real. San Diego, Seattle goes up. Colorado, Denver, and Colorado Springs both party heavy. Boston is. I got my homies out there that run clubs out there. They should be on Smash in Boston, bro. They got some baddies too. Boston is slept on.
That boy said Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah, bro. I probably got one of the biggest bags I got last year to play Wichita, bro.
Yeah.
Because those smaller cities, they got to pay more because no one really wants to go there. Like, these are CD markets. Like, But then you run into the same opposite issue where some of the smaller cities like Minneapolis, I can't play at all because they don't want to pay. So like a lot of the people get in the mindset of like, well, why would we pay you? Like, we're not making that much, which is like, I understand. It's understandable as a promoter, but it's like, I can't devalue my brand and go from making $1,500 a night to making $200 a night. That makes other people who already were booking me for this price be like, well, why are we paying you $1,500 now? You're paying for these niggas for $200.
Exactly.
So it's like a difficult balance of trying to find an environment and a market where you could survive and it could be jumping and you could get paid, but not like break nobody. You don't want to break nobody over the head from your own city. It's tough, bro. It's tough to decide. Like there's times when I do favors for people and there's times when I got to say no because it just doesn't make sense business wise.
Yeah. So I want you to speak on like your social media marketing, because I think on your Instagram you're at like 500,000 followers, and then on Twitter you're at 1.7 million. So just talk about how you grew that following, bro, and how it came over this 10-year process.
So I usually tell people when I started on social media, I had a plan kind of. I was like, you got to kind of cross market your platforms, number one. You got to come with consistent content, which everybody knows, but nobody seems to follow. They'll be like, what am I doing wrong? You're not posting every day. People are not going to go to your page to check for shit if they know you're not posting every day. So like even with like women models and stuff, the most success I see in the pages that are growing the fastest, they're like posting like 2-3 times a day. So if you can't come with original content like creative shit. Like if a girl's doing modeling, let's say, she got to go and get weekly photo shoots done. Whether that means collaborating with a brand or working with a photographer or working with an agency. Like if you can't come with, like, if you notice, I really have like new photos all the time, bro, because people want to see you.
Yeah.
That's important. It's really important. It's not just about the music. Like people want to buy into your whole lifestyle. So if you can't communicate and be open with your fans, like there's sometimes if you have really good music, you could be on some mysterious shit like Party Next Door, who tweets like once a year.
Right.
But that's like exceptional. Like if you're not like that, then you kind of got to be on there talking to your fans, responding, making them feel like, you know, you're connected with them. I know if I follow somebody and like I write them or mention them or something, they don't write back, I'm kind of like, all right, well, fuck you too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I still like you, but like, damn, like you don't got the time to even favorite my tweet. Like, so it's that. And then obviously I did a lot of mass following, just like following tons and tons of accounts. And, you know, a small percentage of them will follow you back and check you out, which is, it's controversial because some people are annoyed by it or some people feel like it's like cheating the system. But it's the same way as if you go on the street and hand out flyers to 100,000 people. You know, some people are going to throw it. Some people are going to say thanks and look at it and they're not really going to care. And then every now and then, 1 out of 1,000 people are going to say, oh, I really might come to your concert. I really might buy your CD. It's the same idea. It's just not as widespread because no one really wants to do that much work, you know? And that's where being like a tech nerd and kind of marketing, like digital marketing, comes into play, because a lot of people don't really understand the back side of how the API works, how all these accounts, the algorithms work. You got to understand that. You got to do research. You got to be connected with other people who are doing the same thing so y'all can share y'all knowledge.
Yeah.
Because one thing I noticed, like you said, your method is way different. Like Pete, you have like 300 something thousand more followers than you do people that follow you. So you got like 1.7 million on Twitter who follow you, but you follow like 1.4 million. You hardly ever see that. It's usually you got 1 million followers and you only follow like 200 people. So your method is way different, because I always wonder how do these artists or how do these producers or any famous or successful person, how do they go from only following 200 to 300 people, but they have hundreds of thousands of followers and it doesn't match?
A lot of it be fake, bro. That should be fake, bro. Sometimes they should be fake. Number one, either if you have 1 million followers, either you're fake, your shit's fake, or you're a superstar.
Yeah.
Like, it's just cut and dry. Either you're a Lil Baby who, I don't know, he probably has 10 million or something. And like, you're like really the biggest artist. Like if you don't know somebody and they have that many followers, you're probably fake. You're faking it.
Yeah.
So like probably even some of the accounts I follow, like probably a good 30% of them, they don't even follow me back. I don't care though. I don't even care to take the time to go unfollow them. Like y'all know what I do. I'm not hiding it. I give away the formula. I give away the ideas every day. Like I can tell you exactly what I did. I just know the reason I can tell you is because you're not going to go do it. Yeah. You're not going to go sit there for that long. Like you don't really want it bad enough. Like, you know what I mean? You're not even going to go sit there and send your fucking music video to 300 people today because you don't want it bad enough. I just wanted it that bad that I'm like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to fucking follow 100,000 million people in real life and talk to them. And I'm going to go on the internet, follow 1 million people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to really do whatever it takes. You're going to see me in 20 years and I'm going to tell you I did whatever I had to do. I don't care. I don't care what somebody says about me. I don't care what their opinion is. If you want to say some negative hating that shit, there's a block button right here and I can click it in 3 seconds.
Right.
So if you're an artist coming up, if you're a podcaster, if you're any type of media personality, if you're any type of artist or creative, honestly, you got to find your own route. My route not going to work for you. You got to find your own route and you got to really want it that bad. If you don't want it that bad, you might as well just stop right now because you're going to waste your own time.
Facts.
That's real. We got to get on that board too. We ain't too consistent on the social media, or not consistent like that, like 3 posts a day type shit. So we got to get up there too.
At least 3 posts, and you don't got to do it on every platform. Everybody finds their own platform. I know people that are celebrities just off Snapchat. I know girls that are just celebrities on OnlyFans, and they only got 100 followers on Twitter.
Right.
Just find your own niche. Find what works for you. You know, shit. There was a time when motherfuckers didn't have social media; they just had blogs. Like it's all about what works for you and finding that time period where you can come up, because there's oftentimes for people in careers there's a small window. We're all getting older, you know. It's a small window when you could have that shit line up, the right people on your team. So you got to be ready. Like I said, that was the first thing we talked about, is you got to stay ready so that when the opportunity comes, you're not wasting time trying to get ready.
Definitely, because the content shit is definitely true. Like you said, with a lot of these IG models, they make like 2 to 3 posts a day, but their stories, you're gonna see like 10, 15 things on their story every single day. Like it could be the most simplest shit, but they're posting shit to where you constantly see their face and you constantly see
And the
their
crazy
name.
thing about the women on social media, if you're a woman, it's damn near easy as hell. I'm gonna be honest.
Damn near.
If you're willing to show your body or you're willing to sell sex like on the internet, you see it with OnlyFans, bro. There's women running out millions.
It ain't even gotta be that
get a
crazy.
small
You could
picture
damn
of
near
that.
show you could damn near show your feet and you'll damn near get a bag.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, like women, when I have conversations with women about marketing, I'm like, you have the biggest marketing tool right there in your pants. You know what I'm saying? Every dude is thirsty and every woman probably wants to be you, especially if you look good.
Mhm.
You can figure out how to spin that. You know what I'm saying? It's God's greatest creation, bro. We gotta work extra 2 times hard. If you think about a woman's engagement on their social media, think about an Instagram post. If a girl knows all her homegirls and she knows, or all her homegirls follow her and I follow her and you follow her, who's gonna like and comment on her pictures? Everybody, right?
Right.
If I post a picture, you ain't commenting on my picture, bro. Probably not. You might, maybe if you're a supporter, a fan. But your homeboys and shit ain't probably gonna comment on your picture talking about, yes, bitch, da 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 da. You look good. They got twice the amount of support, bro. Because dudes is not getting the same amount of support from dudes as women is getting from women. Even though they can hate it on too, they're gonna have to deal with a lot of hate from women. But you get double the support because women are just more loved.
That's true, bro. Just
So
crazy.
if you're a woman and you're not, you're doing something and you're not really using social media, I don't know what you're doing, honestly. You're probably not doing nothing because it doesn't make sense in my mind why you wouldn't be using social media. I be seeing girls' DMs and their story views and stuff. Like when I be hanging out with them, looking at their phone, I'm like, this is like damn near crazier than my shit. And I've been working at this for 10 years. They got so many thirsty dudes and just people commenting on their stuff. It's so active because it's just women. It's just nobody wants to see a dude more than they want to see a woman.
Exactly.
When do you ever see a strip club with male strippers, bro? I mean, not that we would seek it out, but you don't. That's not something. That's not a thing like that. People want to see women's bodies. They want to see women's faces. They want to interact with women. They're just fire. Like
that's true, bro. Ain't nothing to say after that, bro. That's good advice. Yeah.
If you're a dude, get a woman manager.
Damn, I ain't think about that.
If you're a guy, get a woman that's going to be on your team business wise, an assistant, a manager, somebody, because she's going to be probably more organized than you. She's going to be better at multitasking than you. She's probably going to have better connections than you. Get a woman on your team. Like I've built so much with women and they've helped me so much in my life, bro. And they've also done so much damage, but if you can learn how to communicate effectively with women and understand them and they can understand you, y'all can really build an empire, bro. Maybe not even like a romantic partner, just a real friend that's going to help you out.
That's real.
Damn, I ain't think a woman manager, like going for that first. Yeah,
women are better managers because they're better at communicating. They're more on top of their shit. They're just more like better, like everything about women. And then people also want to deal with them more. If a woman's calling me like, hey, my artist, so, I'm going to give her the time of day. If a dude's calling me like, yo, my cousin rap. Out of my face, bro.
That's real. Yep.
If I listen, the shit better be fire.
It better be, man, because I'm not dealing with you. But if a woman calls me 3 times back to back, I'm gonna be like, oh, maybe I should call her back. A dude calling me back three times back to back, I'm gonna block you.
Yeah.
So it's like, women can do a lot more, especially in hip hop, than men can because they can get in those rooms too. If she look good, like she can get backstage, she could have that conversation with another person's manager who's also a woman and connect on a different level with them. There's so much that women could do, bro. I feel like women could damn near go to the airport and just be like, can you put me on a flight for free? And they'll damn near do it.
Yeah. for sure. Especially if you look good. Once again, they gonna let you.
Man, good looking women could get anything they want. And that's one of the problems with them is that they be having these big old heads because they've been treated so good their whole life. So a lot of times they lack the drive or they lack the motivation or work ethic. But if you can find one that does have that, boss. Real boss, bro.
Definitely.
All right. And my last question to you was, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or just even more long-term question, what do you want your legacy to be? Well, how do you want to be remembered?
I'll start with in 5 years, I see myself in a 6,500 square foot mansion with a pool, drinking a Mai Tai, with all my homies there, bunch of beautiful women there, and I'm just chilling. If my plans go correctly, I'll be semi-retired in 5 years because I'll have businesses set up where my meetings go like this. How's things going? Do you need any advice? Can I oversee something? Can I give you some motivation to continue running my businesses? You know, my goal is to not work. I love working and I love putting passion behind things, but I feel like the goal in life is, you know, to retire as early as possible. Spend time with your kids. I see myself having as many kids as I could afford, bro. If I can afford them as far as my time and my money, I would have them.
I got the same mindset. Like,
I love kids, bro. I love kids. I love community. I love having people around me that got love for me, and I got love for them. It's just an unmatched vibe. So, you know, I'm realistic, so I know that 5 years is really ambitious. But in 5 years, I'm gonna be 30, and if I could be retired at 30, that's legendary.
Yeah.
Facts.
And how do you want to be remembered at the end?
I want to be remembered as somebody who did it, what they said they was gonna do.
Man of their word. That's real. All right, bro.
So we appreciate you for coming on, bro. We had to get you on. You a young legend in the making. You got your whole future ahead of you. You got 10 plus years in already, and I know you're finna do 10 plus more crazy shit. So I'm gonna definitely keep in touch with you. Quincy gonna keep in touch. We gonna make sure we support you the full way.
And where can they find you on social media?
You can hit me on Twitter, Cameron Bennett, Instagram, DJ Kam Bennett. I'm gonna be launching most of my stuff from both of those sites. Any other social media, I'll be posting it on there. Any other projects that come out, you can check it out there. I appreciate y'all for having me on the platform. You know, just to be able to touch y'all audience and chop it up. We had some real good conversations. So if you ever need any support or anything in the future, don't hesitate to reach out, man.
All right, man. We appreciate you, man.
And I'll hit you up and let you know when we get ready to post.
Awesome, bro. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You too, bro.
All right, bro. So that was DJ Kam Bennett. We appreciate him for coming on the podcast. We will be doing more interviews in the future. You already know that. We will be having show reviews and movie reviews that are coming soon. We will be dropping a WandaVision episode 1 through 3 review on Monday. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We got a night in Miami. We got that movie review going to come out soon. And what's the other one we was talking about? The Tiger documentary.
Yeah, the Tiger documentary. Yeah. Are we going to do Soul too? Do you think we should do
We could do Soul. We could do Soul.
Yeah, we'll probably do Soul a little bit later.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the Soul movie as well. So definitely be on the lookout for us, man. We coming up right now, man. Just keep in touch with us, man. Just keep in tune with us, bro. We love all the support that we getting right now. I keep seeing the growth, the gradual growth, bro. I keep seeing it and I love it, man. So we appreciate y'all for that. But Edgar, hit them with the social media.
You can follow us on Twitter at QE Podcast 1. You can follow us on Instagram at QANDE Podcast. You can follow and like our Facebook page, Q&E Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the notification bell so you can see anytime that we drop new episodes. Our email, QANDEpodcast@gmail.com for any business inquiries, questions, or concerns. And we do have Snapchat now. QE Podcast. So make sure you hit us up on Snapchat as well so you can see any bloopers or anything like that we do while we're recording.
All right, man. So we appreciate y'all for listening and we out. Peace.